Welcome, my good people, to the Trippin'-N-The Mecca podcast. I'm your host, Dice, with my co-host, Mike. We're here, of course, talking about Knicks, talking about New York sports, dabbling into some music today. We got some different topics to talk about, especially with the Knicks. I know you got some thoughts that you want to start off with, some questions that you want to start off with, Mike. So let's hear them.
All right, let's get into it. So, obviously the draft went by. We got some days to kind of reflect, sit back, think about it a little bit. So give me your overall thoughts of the draft with the Knicks, and just your overall thoughts on the players in the draft. Who you think is going to be Rookie of the Year? Who you think is going to be the best player out of this draft? Just your thoughts on the draft in general.
So to start off with the latter, best player in the draft, I think when we come back and look in the next, 5 years or so is what they usually say. I think it's going to be Jaden Ivey.
Okay.
I just think he has the most upside. He's the most what the NBA has right now as far as dynamic guards. Guys that has a quick first point of attack, quick off the dribble, can get to the rack. Obviously, can finish at the rack. Good wingspan, good height, 6'4". There's obviously some other guys that are intriguing, but in the next 5 years, I think Ivy will be the best player.
Okay. As far as who you think he's going to win a Rookie of the Year, or do you have like a dark horse to win a Rookie of the Year?
I think it's going to be Banchero. I think he just is going to get the most opportunity. They got some really good young guards in Orlando. They drafted Franz Wagner, who's played a tremendous year last year for Orlando. But I think Banchero, he's drafted to be that guy. 6'10", 250, could put the ball on the floor, could attack the rim with veracity, can shoot. Needs to work on the touch a little bit, but definitely has a great mid-range. He's just a guy that you're just going to give him the ball. You know what I mean? And rookies that usually get the ball, usually the ones that become the Rookie of the Year.
I happen to agree with you. The one thing I'll say about the draft is I get what they did. Like, my biggest thing is if you do that type of move that they made, you got to make sure that pick becomes something, right? And my fear is I don't think that they know what that pick is going to become. I think they hope it's going to become something. If you make that move, you got to have a deal in mind. And you got to say, okay, we're going to kick this 11th pick down the road. We're going to get these 3 picks, and we're going to use these picks plus some other picks to get this person. That has to be set up, ready to go, right? You only make those type of moves if it's a bigger move that's going to happen relatively soon. My problem with them is they're doing it in case something may happen down the line. Maybe it could be another pick down the line or a player down the line that we're going to go get, or maybe we move up in the draft in 2023. But it's too many maybes and ifs, and how I need definites. So I would have made that type of move if I had a bigger move set up, and I could say, all right, I'm going to punt this 11th pick. I'm going to take these 3 picks, this other pick, and I'm going to go and get a guy. That's my problem with what they did. Is just there's no plan behind it, at least so far that I can see. If it's just for Brunson, no. It needs to be bigger than that. You need a lottery pick for 3 protected picks that might become lottery picks, but we don't know that. That's all unknown, right? I need those type of trades to happen. I need a plan behind it. So my thought is it's just very incomplete, and it's a Hail Mary, and we're not in a position to do Hail Marys. My next question for you, though, you mentioned Jalen Brunson. So I know that's A, B, C, D, and E, and F as the plan.
Right.
Let's say Jalen Brunson goes back to Dallas. What's your next player you're going after, and who do you think the Knicks will go after? And do you think the front office should be held accountable if he does go back to Dallas?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, look, the way the way we are setting things up to not only undo the mistakes that we did from last year, last summer, excuse me, last offseason, blowing $74 million essentially, or players that one barely played, or two you can't trade clearly, as we see with the Kemba Walker trade.
Yeah.
You had to trade him first, essentially, to get off $9 million. I know, it came with some other moves, but even trading 4 second-round picks is a lot for $9 million. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know how to draft with Sims, 58th pick. Mitchell Robinson, I know that was a different regime, but also a second-round pick. Deuce McBride, Rokas. So we know how to draft. So those second-round picks do become essential at some point.
Yeah.
But just to answer your question with Jalen Brunson, if he chooses to go back to Dallas, which I'm on a low key hoping, just because I don't want to pay the money for that.
Right.
I don't want to pay the money for a 6'1" guard. You know how I feel about undersized guards. I don't feel like they changed the game. As much as he's a great player, great mid-range player, improved his shooting at 37% from the three for this year. Definitely played well and held it down for Dallas when Luka wasn't there, especially to start off in the playoffs. And I just feel like the next person that we should go after is Colin Sexton. I think he's a player that is somebody that can attack the rim. He averaged 24 points a game before he got hurt for his ACL this past year. We've seen him do it. We've seen him knock down some of the bigger teams. We've seen him beat Brooklyn in Brooklyn. And I just think he has not star written on him, but big-time player here for the big-time moments. Obviously, he's famous for playing 3-on-5 in college with Alabama. So we know he has heart. And I just feel like that's somebody that we should go after. May not cost as much coming off the injury. And, this front office, the way they put themselves out there, the way they stuck their necks out there for Jalen Brunson, who I don't have anything against. I think he's a phenomenal player. But I just don't think he's changing the needle. I don't think he's moving the needle. I don't think he's someone that you align yourself to get the way we're trying to get him, like trading draft picks and, just all out Jalen Brunson. No, not even being networked to no other names. Like, there was a story with Malcolm Brogdon that got shot down real fast. It seems to be just all Jalen Brunson, and I'm just not here for it.
I happen to agree with you. I would go Sexton. I personally think that the Knicks is going to go Jones. I could see Tyron Jones coming over from Memphis and them throwing a $12 million deal to him for like 4 years. He's a steady point guard, a Tibbs guy. I could see them kind of pivoting to that once Bronson goes back to Dallas. To me, that's another move that's kind of keeping us average, keeping us like in a position where we're not going to really make a step. I would like them to have something concrete ready in case Bronson don't come, something that's like a big move, even if it's for Terry Rozier or somebody of that level, at least minimum expectation. If they sign Jones and miss out on Bronson, I consider Bronson to be like their family member. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You can't sign a family member. This regime is never going to sign anybody big. And I think this is pretty much the most risky thing that they have done so far in their regime. This is the most risky thing they've done by putting themselves out there with Bronson this much. If they don't succeed, they're kind of making themselves look foolish. Like
if they don't succeed, oh man,
I think they should be fired because if you can't sign family, I would say his dad worked here. His Leon Rose's son is his agent. He grew up idolizing Derrick Rose. Leon Rose is his godfather. They're giving him the same amount of money. They're giving him the same amount of money that most likely that Dallas is going to give him. If you can't sign this man, you need to be fired, dude. I can't. It's nothing. You're never going to bring a superstar if you can't sign a family member. And that's what I'm going to be watching for. If that happens, I got to make a change, man. I got to make a change. I can't sit back and act like they know what they're doing. You punted a lottery pick, and you don't sign Bronson would be devastating for this franchise. And I don't think Leon makes it through this. I don't. But I'm gonna go on to the next question for you.
Okay.
Since we think they're going with Leon Rose, and we're not 100% sure what's going to happen after that, my next question for you is this: who do you think would come in here and kind of be like a dream scenario for you if they was to pull a rabbit out their hat and you just like, wow, I can't believe the Knicks pulled this off. What, how did they get this out of there? I mean, they're using those picks for something useful. Who's that guy? Who's that dream scenario, dream off season that you can come up with that doesn't include Brunson?
I know, and this is obviously based on him playing, obviously. And I know I was against offline. We talked about this. I know I was against Kyrie, and I know he opted into his contract, but let's just say he just is like, I opted in. I still want to trade, right? I'm going for Kyrie. I'm making a trade for Kyrie. I know that the Nets don't have leverage. I'm giving them expiring contracts, some first-round picks. And then I'm going to get a Bradley Beal. I'm going to see if I could throw a bag at Washington to see if they'll let Brad come out of there. I know we're in the same division. I know they're not going to want to do that, maybe, but maybe a Toppin quickly 4 first, couple swaps can do it. And I'm putting Kyrie and Bill and RJ, and I'm running. If that was a dream. But I don't even think Brunson's coming. I don't think nobody's coming, man. I think like you said, it might be Tyrus Jones at the worst and at the best.
My thing is I'm going after Donovan Mitchell. I know that it's a lot of smoke with that. He's been dining with our players. He's been in the city. He's been playing basketball in Melo's gym, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I do think that there's some interest there. And whether he requests a trade or not, sometimes, a player might give that front office some signals like, listen, like, he may not come out and say it, but say it,
Right. Yep.
And if you overwhelm them with an offer and you can kind of get in Leon, get in Mitchell's camp and say, hey, we're trying to make this happen, put a little pressure on them. I think we can find a way to get that done with the amount of picks and assets that we have to get Mitchell over here. And I think once Mitchell's here, I would include Randall in that trade to go out, which would then open up Obi and RJ and Mitchell. And then from there, if they were to sign Bronson, I can live with that core for a little bit until another star become available. So, you'll have Bronson, Mitchell, RJ, Obi, Mitch. We keep a couple of our young players, maybe IQ and Cam or whoever, and add that with a couple of vets that we still have in Rose and Sims and bring back Gibson. I could live with that for a year. Next year, draft another player with your own 2023 pick and keep building, and another player start become available. RJ might take a step or two, and next thing you know, you're in contention. But I just think we need that guy. My biggest thing I noticed with us, we lost about 10 games down the stretch with just not having a go-to guy, not having a guy, having a guy that nobody's paying attention to. Randall tried to become that again, and that magic wasn't there. And after a while, people just lost respect for him and say, okay, go ahead, take that fadeaway 20-footer. Let me see that go in. And it wasn't working. So it was we're just losing these close games and not having that guy. I just think we just got to be aggressive, and that's my dream, to just go get a guy. I'm talking about a real guy somebody who's going to really make a difference out there. And Mitchell is just fits the city. He knows the city. He's from here. He knows the pressure behind it. You know, he got that dog mentality. He's everything that this team. He can play for Tibbs. You know, if Tibbs still here or Johnny Bryant take over for Tibbs down the line, he got a relationship with him as well. So I don't think it's no downside in bringing Donovan Mitchell. I don't think it's zero downside in doing that. So I need that guy. I need that guy wearing the jersey. That's where I'm at with it.
Let me ask you this. I know that you mentioned Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, his former agent is our president of basketball operations, Leon Rose. Mm-hmm. What do you feel about this front office thus far over this, 2.5, almost 3 years? Mm-hmm. What do you feel about them? I'm of the notion where I'm kind of neutral. I don't.
Bro, what I feel?
Yeah.
I would flat out say that I think they're incompetent and don't know what they're doing. I'm not neutral at all. Every move that they made, whether they made a good pick or not, they still got a vet that's taking up a spot from one of the young players that they drafted. You know, you draft Obi, you extend Randall. You draft Grimes, you sign Evan Fournier, right? You got IQ coming on last year. You're trying to sign Brunson now. All of the young players are being blocked from becoming whatever they can become. We don't know until they get playing time. So even, you trade for Cam and you don't have a spot for him to play. You got $80 million. All of those players you're trying to get rid of. You got not one piece that you're trying to build with. Like, I think they made some good draft moves, some nice young role player type of, but I think that's overrated a little bit. I think us as Knicks fans are so happy to have some young players that can play in this league that we look at those guys as like, oh my God, gems, we got IQ, we got this. But around the league, they look at them as nice young role players, right?
Exactly.
Because they're playing a role for us. And
right.
We didn't put them in a bigger role, which then makes them seem like, hey, the Knicks are not a winning team. They can't start for the Knicks. Why would I go crazy for a guy that can't start for a bad team? So I think that we're just in a position now where the best move would be to go young. And two things can happen. One of the young players might surprise you and become a star. And you just like, wow, Grimes with playing time consistently as a starter. This guy's better than we thought. He's a piece, right?
Right.
Or he's not a piece. Either way, you need to know that because you need to know who you building with and who you're not. Right? You need to know whether that's a guy that you need to invest time in or we need to look again. Another thing that happens is young teams learn how to win or lose. If they lose, you get a higher draft pick. You're in a better position to make it. If they win, you're winning with a young team that's going to be together for the next 5 years. Right? It's no negative in going with these kids, but we keep adding on these fringe vets to try to save face and try to look like that we're trying to win whatever playoff round or go to the playoffs or play in or whatever they're trying to accomplish. And what they're doing is they're hurting the young players' value. And once that happens, you're pretty much stuck as a middle of the road team because your young players don't have no value. When a trade comes, they're just a throwing, right? The only value that we have in a trade now is picks, pretty much. Randall value is down. You don't want to give up RJ. Evan is a negative value. And all the rest of those vets are pretty much
nothing.
Yeah, I don't care about them. So, and the young players, hey, they backing up Burks. How good can they be? You know what I'm saying? Right. And
that's how other teams are going to look at them.
Yeah, and I would too. I'd be like, hey, you going to offer me Grimes? You can't start over Alec Burks. Like, I'm giving you what? Give you what for that guy? No.
I think before when I said neutral, I'm kind of like of the notion because we haven't done anything just stupid, like outright just dumb, as other regimes have. Yeah. So I'm kind of just like, oh wow, we haven't done that. But honestly, when you break down these moves and you look at, trading the number 19 pick last year and just trading that down the road as we did again this year, obviously trading out the draft. It's been moves that are kind of like meh, or incompletes, or we got to see, or what ifs or what is the plan. I feel like it's moves that are like they're not vertical, they're lateral moves. Every move is a lateral move. They have to rearrange on what they did last summer, so they get off the Kemba contract. They look into, trade Burks, stretch Noel, obviously, for Brunson. But he's a B-list player. Let's just say what it is. You know what I mean? And that's what I kind of get that Knicks fans understand that if you kind of look at Twitter and Instagram and the social medias and just kind of see what Knicks fans are saying, they're like, look, man, I'm not paying $28 million for a B-list player.
Right.
I understand he's 25. I understand he got game. But did he do it for half a year or did he not? He did. He did it for a half a year. Now, somehow, without luck, he comes here and he's not that guy. He's not that guy because now he's getting game plan more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You playing with Luka Doncic, an all-time great. You know what I mean? And, I mean, at that point, yeah, everybody else can get off because it's so much demand and so much attention on Luka. But it's like, okay, now you're the starting point guard for the Knicks. We're game planning for you. We got defenses for you. You 6'1". You're not seeing over double teams. You're not. It's a whole lot of things you got to think of, and that's what I've been thinking about. Another target that's been, floating around, not necessarily floating around with us, but DeJounte Murray, 6'4", 6'5" point guard from San Antonio. I've been seeing a lot of Knicks fans wanting to kind of pivot that way.
Yeah.
And if I was picking of the two, obviously I'm picking DeJounte Murray. Way more upside, bigger, better defender, obviously. But it's like San Antonio is looking to rebuild. San Antonio is looking for picks.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've seen the trade with
we
exactly
got picks, and we won't get involved with that conversation, which I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't understand the philosophy of why we get involved with that. I don't get it.
But it's like, how many picks are you willing to mortgage for DeJounte Murray? That's what I was thinking about too. How many picks are you willing to forfeit for DeJounte Murray? Where it's like, okay, remember what we got? We got 11 first, 11 seconds, right?
The next 7 years, yeah.
In the next 7 years. Because once you do that move, like you said, kind of with Brunson, you got to keep going. What are you going to do after that? So how many first and what kind of young players do you feel like would be able to, one, get a deal done, and two, do you have anything else to get another guy?
Well, from what I heard, they actually want to expire and 3 firsts. It's the asking price. Now, I know we got some bad blood that goes.
That's why I asked how many first.
Back to Morris and the whole thing with Scott Perry and Popovich, and I get it. I would give them 4 firsts, 1 young player and expiring. I would offer them the Dallas 2023 and the 3 picks that we just got in this year's trade, and just offer those 4 picks to them, and also give them a player like Cam back, aspiring deal, but still young. Maybe Pop can, get them going in the right direction, and offer a couple of expirings to offset the salary. Try to get back Murray that way, and then from there, you can still got enough first round picks and some tools to still go about getting the star if Mitchell become available or anything like that. You still got enough in your basket to go after that star guy. I know the Knicks would rather just spend money and hold on to the assets. All right. And
that's their game. Yep.
So you can try to use that assets to get a star to go with Brunson. And I get the philosophy. And I like Brunson as a player. I just want to throw that out there. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's good.
No, not at all.
I just don't think the upside is what Murray's would be, right? I think pretty much Brunson is as good as he's going to get. He might get 1/2 a notch better, maybe running his own team. But I think he is who he is. He's a solid player, get to the bucket, okay shooter, okay defender. His deficiency is obviously 6', 6'1" guard, so he doesn't have the long wingspan. Not a great defender. It's okay. Um, it'd be an
He
upgrade.
gives effort. He
Yeah,
gives effort.
be an upgrade for sure for us. Like, we haven't had a point guard in so long, so it's a definite upgrade. It's just that you're whoring yourself out for a B-lister. Like, it's a B-lister, and you're doing this crazy stuff to try to get him. And once you get him, you're locked into playing eighth seed, maybe if everything breaks right. I mean, I'm looking at the East, and now that Kyrie's officially back with the Nets, right? And Simon and Simmons is coming back. All right, they're better, right? Heat's better. Bucks is better. Boston's better. Hawks might end up being the one to get buried. They're already better, but they're definitely better then, right? You got the Cavs, you got the Raptors, Hornets. It's probably going to get better. You got the Wizards. If Bill come back and they add a piece on paper, they're better. That's a lot to get through just to make the play-in. And Bronson makes you better. He does, but he doesn't make you good enough to even make the playoffs. So, in my opinion, you bring back Bronson, you bring back Mitch. I need something else. Or else I'm looking at this regime like, what are you doing? You good with being a 10th, 11th seed again next year?
Exactly.
Right. And then,
exactly.
Like, what? Who are you picking? Because you got Randall already taking up Obi's spot. You got Evan already taking up Grimes spot. You got Bronson already taking up IQ spot. You got RJ, who's going to be here. So who you drafting at 11 next year that's actually going to be in a rotation and is going to play? Like, what's the plan? And that's going to be a common trend of what we talk about, like, because everything is what if, maybe it could. You never know. It could happen. Maybe, sure, right? No, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And none of those questions are answered. You don't talk to the media, so we got to read between the line on his little statement that he made. But it's like, what you doing here? Like, and that's my problem with the Knicks. It's like old regimes that do something stupid. This regime is soft,
right?
And it's like,
and I don't know which one is worse.
I don't know which one is worse, right? We look at Steve Mills, and we knew that he was a little bit in over his head, right? But he set Leon Rose up like no other GM set another GM up. He gave him $75 million, a 19-year-old RJ, and all of your future picks, plus the $2 picks to work with when he got fired. He gave that to Leon Rose and say, all right, you the man. Let's see what you can do.
Do something with it. Do something.
What has he done with it?
What we were promised.
What is he
done? We were promised stars. We were. Oh, breaking news. I just want to break some news. John Wall and the Houston Rockets have agreed to a buyout officially. John Wall is now a free agent. So we will be seeing. I think Clippers. I think Clippers. We'll see what team is vying for his services.
I think Clippers are definite fit for him. I see that as no brainer.
Yeah, I like that move. I definitely Clippers, if they healthy, they're gonna be scary.
Yeah,
scary. Another thing I wanted to ask. So, let's just say we get Brunson, right? Do you feel like Brunson will be on board with not a rebuild, but a retool? Maybe getting rid of Randall still, opening up space for Obi, opening up space for some of the younger guys, because he is 25 years old. So if we do take 2 years to still be a good team, he's still in his prime, entering his prime. Yeah. You know what I mean? What do you feel about that? Because that's what I'm hoping. If we sign Brunson, that we still get rid of Randall.
That's a big if. I don't even think that's going to happen. But if he does come, one thing I would say about Bronson, he's been a winner, right? Yeah. Like he'll come off he came off the bench for Dallas and played his role when he was a starter. He played his role. When he was in college, he played his role. He's a winning type of guy. So like if he was to come here and Randall wasn't on the team and he was in charge of the young players, that'd be the guy that you would want to do that, right? I think that's kind of how the Knicks are looking because he's a leader. He is a leader, right? And I think they want a guy that's going to come in here and lead these young kids on the court and still young enough to be around once the finishing product will be there, and once they trade for a star, still have young enough to do what he need to do. Rose is kind of the same way, but he's at the end of his career. So I think they're kind of looking at Brunson as the leader type, but still young enough to be there when it matters. So I get why they're going after him, and I think that is a strong suit of his because he is the type of player who can lead young players, and he's not going to worry about, oh, I need my 25. I can't have RJ get 35 today. He's not that type of player, right? He's okay with letting them eat as long as he get the dub, right? And I like that about him. I think that's what Dallas like about him too, right? There's times where he might, when Spencer might have been going crazy and he had to sit down, and he wasn't soaking on the bench. He was cheering his teammates on. He was a good teammate, giving Spencer some things that he's seen, stuff like that. I noticed stuff like that. So that's not a concern of mine at all. Not with Brunson, not at all. I think he's a leader now. And if they get him, like I said, he's a good player. Like, he's not great. He's not going to move the needle. I just think paying $27 million and stuff I've been hearing is a little crazy.
That's hefty.
I mean, I know they're in desperation mode and all that.
Yeah.
I get it. So if they do get him, that's fine. But I just need something else. I mean, I'm not taking Leon off the hook for bringing back Mitch and signing Brunson. I can't say, oh, excellent offseason. Nah, bro. I need another guy. I need either another young guy. I need you to get rid of some of these vets that let the young players play, or I need a guy that's going to add with RJ, with Randall, with Brunson. I need that other will, because these are B-listers. And if you're not getting an A-lister, you're not getting a superstar, you need to have 4 Bs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need 4 Bs. You can't be having a C and a D and 3 Bs. That's bad, bro. Like, I need another B. Give me another B-lister. You got all them picks. Get another guy that's young enough that can still grow, and put him next to RJ, next to Brunson, next to Randall. And now you can talk to me and say, okay, at least you got something going here. You got a legitimate shot to make the playoffs, and you're not just praying on the playing. I'm not good with that. This is his 3rd year for this management. You got to show me something. And Dolan, I'm just going to throw this out there. Dolan gives people 3 years. Okay? This 3rd year, Dolan's going to look, if he hear boos and we want Obi or fire Tibbs, and
that's not going to fly.
It's not going to fly, bro. This 4th year, he's going to be like, yeah, no. So the pressure's on these guys. 1, they better sign Brunson, like we said. 2, you better do
pandemonium if he doesn't sign here. Pandemonium in the streets if he doesn't sign here.
Ugly. And I mean ugly. If they don't bring this man, if they don't bring Brunson in, you can't, like I said, you can't sign family, bro. Quit. Just turn your keys in, your whole thing. Just say, look, I'm done. I can't bring my family in. So I'm good. I ain't getting nobody. Sorry.
I mean, just because I'm a sucker for action, and because I don't want to pay Jalen Brunson $28 million, I'm waiting and hoping that he just doesn't do it. He just takes the 5th year with Dallas and just says,
Twitter, man, I'm gonna be in there. I'm here. This gonna go. It's gonna be a ESPN Stephen A. Oh, I don't even.
The way he acted on draft night with Spike Lee,
praying and all that shit's sickening, man. That's why I said I need this team to be good, man. I'm just sick of being the butt of the jokes, you know? What I mean?
Yeah.
This guy came to a point like this. Please, somebody take over this job, have a plan, stick to the plan, and do it for once, right? You know what I mean? I don't even know what Leon Rose's plan is. I don't think he knows. I think he's just throwing things against the wall, hope it sticks. That's what I'm scared of, because everybody say, oh, you got to just wait for the plan. See what the plan is. You got a plan. What is it, bro? What is the plan? Accumulate assets and hope that a guy want to come? That's not a plan. That's a hope.
And what I fear is if what Alan Hine reported, 2 days ago, where, teams don't look at our players, of course, the way we look at our players, obviously, because we see them every day. We see them working every day. We see them getting better game by game. But if teams don't look at our young players like that, and we're not coming off of RJ Barrett, and teams don't value Julius Randle, then where are you going? You know what I mean? Like, where are you going then? Because, okay, you only got, two expirings that teams will want. From what I understand, teams don't look at Noel as a value contract. They look at Burks as a value contract. That's the one that you can get off without having to attach anything.
I think
So,
Burks and Cam. So only two.
I don't want to get rid of Cam Reddish.
Me either, but that's the only two that they can get off of it. They're not going to have to attach it. And those are only two.
For $6 million? You just kicked the pick down the street for $4.5 million. Now you're trading basically Cam Reddish for $6 million to get Jalen Brunson?
I just told you they out here whoring for Brunson, man. They're going to do what they got to do, okay?
Whoring like Hunts Point Honeys, baby. Oh, man.
They got to stretch Noel. They're going to do whatever it takes just for him to say no, and we're going to be sitting there looking stupid. They'll do it, though, because that's how desperate this franchise has become, man. It's desperate. But I'm going to move on to the next topic because we can talk about this all day. This is going to be
yes.
Every Knicks fan going to be like, yeah, I feel you on that one. But so out of the young players, curious your thoughts on this.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like? RJ took a step last year, right? So out of the young players that's most likely to play, and I'm going to include Cam in this scenario just for right now. So out of Cam, Grimes, IQ, Obi, or RJ, what young player you think is going to take that next step? Let's also throw Mitch in there. What young player you think is going to take that next step that's going to be a leap or a legitimate leap to show that he's either an NBA starter, a star, or whatever the case may be? What young player would you pick?
I think naturally RJ Barrett's going to take a step. Obviously, he's going to get the ball more. Obviously, down the stretch of last season, they kind of just shifted the whole offense his way. We've seen him take over some games. We've seen him have some big games. Not on the greatest efficiency. So I think naturally he's going to take the step. But all in all, I think it's going to be Emmanuel Quickly. Because he hears this. He sees this. Obviously, we see him 3 days after the season going right to the gym and putting this work in. You know what I mean? And we talk about Jalen Brunson right now. You know what I mean? 21-year-old Emmanuel Quickly, 22 years old, actually, I think, as opposed to a 25-year-old going on 26-year-old Jalen Brunson. You telling me he can't beat Jalen Brunson in 4 years? Opportunity. I think Quickly has the chance to be a maxi. But are they going to give them the opportunity like Philly did?
Yeah.
Philly said, here, we got some injuries. We got Ben Simmons doing his thing and not playing or whatever the case may be. Look, keys are yours. We seem to be the only team in the league that are afraid to just give guys the keys. We take RJ Barrett, the third pick in the draft. What team in the league doesn't give the third pick in the draft the keys?
The Knicks.
Emmanuel Quickly is playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks fans were ready to ship him off the first Greyhound last year. When he was struggling, he puts it together. He comes together. What team in the league wouldn't give that young player a chance, an opportunity?
Yeah.
The Knicks.
I agree.
Obi Toppin put it together, 42-10. We still talk about Julius Randle, though. You know what I mean? We still talk about. So it's like, I don't understand the philosophy here. You don't have the core. You don't have the culture yet of winning yet for Tom Thibodeau. So what are you going to do? You're either going to have the players to meet Tom Thibodeau's expectations and standards, or you're going to get rid of Tom Thibodeau. What's easier? I'm not going to call for a man's job. I want a man to make millions of dollars if he can, because I'm just not a guy to call for fire, but fire. You know, but fire. You know
I have no problem. I mean, I don't blame Tibbs for none of this. I know
I'm not blaming Tibbs.
Topic, but I don't blame him. I think it's management.
I'm not blaming Tibbs. I don't want that to get misconstrued. I'm not blaming Tibbs. Did I see some things that he shouldn't have done last year? Some bonehead decisions in the games that cost us? the bench is playing well. You pull him. All of that. Yes, that's his fault. But roster construction is roster construction.
Right.
Him not wanting Cam Reddish is him not wanting Cam Reddish. You know what I mean? So it's like you're either going to buy into what your coach does 100%, because if you're trading up a first to get off of Kevin Knox to get Cam Reddish for him to not play, and then we trade another first to out the 2022 draft, kick the first in the 2021 draft, we just kicking first. Like, you know what I mean? Which essentially they are doing stupid stuff like the old regimes. If you just kind of breaking it down and dissecting things,
Yeah, they are.
They just doing it in a more slick way.
They're doing it a safer way. They're doing stupid safe. You know, you're still
Stupid
running a
safe.
light, but you're not zooming through. You're just basically going slow through the light. That's it. But they still doing the same nonsense that the last regime did at the end of the day. My player is actually Quentin Grimes. The reason why I say that is because it's opportunity, like you said. And I think the two young players that's going to get the most time is IQ and Grimes. I think IQ not as much, especially if Brunson is signed, and especially if Rose is back. So I think IQ is going to get some minutes, but I don't think he's going to get tremendous amount of opportunity. Grimes, on the other hand, if Brunson is here, I could see him possibly taking over for Evan as a starter because you're going to need some defense in that backcourt.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that he also stretches the floor as well. So he's a guy who plays D and can stretch the floor.
Tibbs loves him.
Right. So I think that opportunity is going to be there for Grimes. And I think him being in a role where he just got to catch and shoot, do a little bit off the dribble here and there, play defense, get that opportunity to play. I think you're going to see a step from him more than the other young players because I think he's going to get more time. I think he's going to be a better situation, especially having a real point guard here if they do sign Brunson. Even, God forbid, if they sign Jones, he's still a point guard who passes, who prefer to pass than score. Either way, Grimes is going to be in a position to really shine more than the other young players to me. And I could really see him taking a real step forward. Possibly being a starter, possibly being a guy that can average double figures and play good defense. And then I think he can become something that somebody look at and say, okay, he's a chip too. You know, he's a guy that I would like to have. You know what I mean? And I think he'll be in the best position to actually do that for us more than the rest. For me,
I think if you sign Brunson, don't you have to get off Rose? Don't you just got to? Like,
no, I would think that Rose, being at the age that he's in, he's going to play, but I don't think Rose really want to play 20, 30 minutes no more. Like, I think
right. So where's Quickly playing is what I'm saying.
The first year when Rose was healthy, that bench with Burks, IQ, and Rose and Obi, they really played well. That was one of our strengths in that first year when we made the playoffs.
Best bench in the NBA by far.
I think they still look at that as we still have that intact. I think that's how they look at it. We still got that, like that Rose Obi Quickly combination. And I think they would play that way, like have not the full responsibility of IQ being a point guard off the bench, but you also got Rose and him. Both can handle the ball. Both can do different things. Obi out there with maybe Evan now, opposed to, him starting.
So where's Cam? You see what I'm saying? Where's Cam? Because Randall's starting.
Cam not playing. You know that.
There it is. That's what I wanted to hear.
Unless only way I can see Cam playing is unless he come in training camp and just this guy is destroying everybody. He's in tremendous shape. He's aggressive. It's basically to a point like I have to play this guy. Yeah, but if he comes in okay or to good, Tibbs still ain't giving him a shot unless it's an injury, right? So I would think the rotation, if they was to get Brunson, would be Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Randall, Mitch, if they bring Mitch back. And then you're looking at Rose, IQ, Evan, Obi, and Sims, right? I think Cam would be on the outside looking in to begin with. And they'll probably round off the bench with, somebody like if they bring Gibson back or one of those type of players, and that'd be your 12. That's how I would think that they would have to clear Burks and Noel to get enough salary. So I didn't include them. in that particular lineup. I think they would have to clear them. So I think Cam will have an opportunity. He's basically one sprained ankle away from playing. You know what I mean? I think he'll get an opportunity some point during the season to show what he can do. But to begin the season, I think it would be setting that rotation that we talked about. That's how I kind of see it. So the other question I got for you is Mitchell Robinson. If they were to bring Mitch back, what's your thought? I know you said earlier, you would let Mitch walk. But if they bring Mitch back,
breaking news. I'm sorry. Breaking news. Woj bomb, ladies and gentlemen, on the Trippin-N-The Mecca podcast. John Wall has just signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. That fast. That fast. Just popped up.
I mean, that's a bit of tampering. All right. I mean, damn. It's been 10 minutes. It's been 5-10 minutes since you broke down.
5 minutes.
Okay. Well, all right. That's that. We called it.
Yep.
We called that one. All right. Well, good move for the Clippers.
Excellent move.
We can't even talk about how would it have been with the Knicks. We ain't had time. Man. It was literally 5 minutes later, he already gone. So
gone.
Wall's not going to be a point guard for us. So we can, whoever was thinking that's done.
That's done. I was interested in that. I was on board with that.
I was thinking about it, but it wasn't long for you to think. 5 minutes later, he out of here. So good move by the Clips.
Excellent move.
That's that.
That's why I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's fast. He's gone.
Keep it coming, shit. We get more breaking news. Hopefully, we get a Burks trade or something. That'd be great.
Man,
that's the Woj I need to hear.
Woj bomb that I need. Yes.
But Mitch. All right, so let's just say if you bring him back, I know you want him to walk. Mm-hmm. If he does come back, what do you think some things he can improve on? Going on his 5th year now. And let's just say Brunson is here. Let's just throw Brunson in the mix. We got a real point guard now. You got Grimes taking a little step forward. What do you think he can actually do for us and his improvement that he would need to make to really become worth the money that we're going to sign him for?
I think Mitch has to get better in the paint offensively. Like when he gets, let's just say he's coming off excellent offensive rebounder. We know that. Excellent rebounder overall. But we know he has to develop some type of something offensively, whether it's a nice 12 to 15 footer, a nice hook shot, dominant in the paint where it's like he's a bucket, old school Zach Randolph style. You know what I mean? Something. He has to be able to add something because we saw last year a bunch of, cryptic interviews, cryptic tweets, cryptic, Instagram posts, and kind of referencing that he wants the ball more. You got to show me something. During his offseason workouts, we see him working out with little kids, man, middle schoolers. Yeah, that's just what it is. I'm saying it. Mitch don't be. When have we seen Mitch working out with some grown men? When have we seen Mitch working out in the Drew League in LA or some of them LA runs or some of the Miami runs or some of the Black Op runs that's already in New York? When have we seen it? We haven't seen that. And that's why I want Mitch gone. He does not add anything but some good defense, some good rebounding. I think our 58th pick, Jericho Sims, could do the same thing. Sturdier NBA body, not going to get hurt as much. Clearly, chiseled, ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is the scenario of him coming back. I think he needs to be able to come back, be able to be a better finisher in that paint. I think he needs to be able to move a little better laterally. He moves well, but obviously this is a switch league. Everything is switching. Big men got to be able to step out on the perimeter and guard the guards and the wings. He's agile enough. He's just, I don't think he puts in the best effort all the time. And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of we give Mitch this bag, right? We give Mitch this bag. We already heard Tom Thibodeau going into training camp last year about, taking it serious, effort, some things. Now you're talking about giving them 44, 48, 50 million. I think it's going to be a little fool's gold on that one, man. I don't know. I don't think so. But those are the things I think he should improve on. And I honestly feel he needs to be able to shoot in mid range. You're going to have Brunson. He's a good penetrating kick point guard. 12 to 15 footer, Mitch. You got to be able to hit that, baby. This is the fifth year. This is the fifth year.
I kind of look at it differently, man.
Okay.
One, we haven't signed none of our own players since Charlie Ward. I think that's a bit of a curse. As bad as the curse of Patrick Ewing, that's another curse. I just think it's haunting the franchise, man. Like, we get rid of all of our own guys and just start over or trade them or try to get a star and trade them. And finally, it's a guy who we can get back on a reasonable price. He's a contributor, right? He's not like he's a bum. I heard the stuff that you said that other players can do, but he's a good offensive rebounder. He affects shots at the rim. He's still young. He's a bit immature. Yes, I know. I agree with the off-season workouts and stuff like that. But this year, he stayed healthy. I was wondering, he stayed relatively healthy. He played through injuries.
It was bag season. You know what time it was.
He stayed on the court. He bulked up a little bit. Lost some of it because he was a little too big, but he's the right size now. He's working on his free throws. I have seen him with the trainers working on his free throws, not as much with the kids this particular year. I just think that, it comes a time where you just got to sign your own guys back, man. Like, you got to stop. Like, even as much bad as I said about Leon and I had discussed with Tibbs or some of the stuff he did last year, sometimes I think and just say winning organizations build chemistry, not only with players, but also with the management team and also with the coaching staff. And that leads to winning down the line. And even though I'm impatient with this regime, it's like if I get a new regime and we don't know what their plan is, right? So they might just trade every young player and try to get a star and patch it together and it'd be another Melo situation. And then we like, what the hell? So it's like, I'm willing to give Leon this year to finish out to do whatever he wants to do. Now, they don't make the playoffs again, and we back in the 11th, 12th seed again. And if it's not a move made by at least that draft, I lost complete. I'm already don't have much, but I lost complete confidence in him when I want him going. But I'm also hesitant to keep doing this, like over and over. It's insanity. Like, things don't work out, get rid of the guy, bring that guy, get rid of him. Don't work out, get rid of him, you know what I mean? Eventually, you got to just say, let me just get this guy his 5-year contract and see what the hell happens, right? It may not be good, but you can't keep this type of turnover over and over again for an organization. And that goes for our players. Like, Mitch would be the first player that came back after 4 years.
Yeah.
That means we change players every 3 years. 4 years at the most. How are you ever going to win anything with that type of turnover?
Yeah, I agree there. I definitely agree there.
I mean, like, RJ and Mitch played together for 2-3 years now. They got a chemistry. If you notice, he throw lobs to Mitch when he go in the lane more than anybody else. So if you get rid of Mitch, you bring somebody else in. RJ got to build chemistry with that person. Randall got to build chemistry with that person. Whoever else is here, Brunson's already coming and they got to build chemistry. And that takes a little while to do. And if you keep turning over, especially a player that's 25, 24 years old, is your guy, I just think that that's why we're looked at the way we are looked at by other players or other organizations frown upon us, because we are kind of like a turnstile. It's just like, this ain't working out, get rid of him. Bring this person, ain't rid of him. Fire the coach. Get a new coach. Fire this person.
But here's my take and my reason on why I'm saying no to Mitch. How many B-list players you gonna have, right? So for what Mitch does, he's a B-list player. You know what I mean? You're gonna pay him $48 million. You're gonna have Brunson on $110 million. You're gonna have RJ, who's eligible for extension this week. So now RJ's not a star. third year going into his, just finished up the third year going into his fourth year. We hoping that he takes a massive leap. But for being a third pick, he's a little underwhelming third pick status, third pick wise. You know what I mean? So then you got Randall, his extension kicked in. You know what I mean? This year coming up. I mean, how many guys the whole starting five is B-listers. How many times you going to keep doing that? You got Evan making 17, 18 million bucks, which obviously is pretty league average, but it's still 17, 18 bucks, 18 million bucks. You're going to have to pay Obi. You're going to have to pay Quickly. It's what are you doing here? Somebody has to be a star.
I agree.
And that's why I say you got to strip this down. I know this is New York. We don't want to do that. We got to win games. You know what I mean? But every team in the league, and we talked about this offline, every team in the league has a blue chipper. Where's your blue chipper at? You know what I mean? Houston,
I agree.
Last year, Jalen Green. This year, Jabari Smith.
I agree with you. But
where's your blue chippers?
It doesn't mean that you get rid of a 25-year-old because of the rest of the roster are B-listers that you drafted in the second round, you developed, you spent time working with.
I agree there. I see your point there.
You invested all this time just to let them walk and go somewhere else and probably become a better player for them. And we're doing what? Developing Sims now and doing the same thing over again? It's like
but he would essentially be being a better player because of roster construction at that point. Because he's going to continue to do the same thing. It's not like he's going to go somewhere else and now you're shooting threes.
I'll put it to you like this. The way I look at players is like this. Can I win with Mitch if the rest of the roster is good? And I think so, right? Okay. I think if Mitch needs to get better at free throw shooter because he gets fouled a lot and he misses. I think if he gets to a 70% free throw shooter, he continues to do what he do, rim running, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, shot blocking, that type of stuff. Can I win with him? Yes, I can. Can this roster win with him? No, right? But that's not Mitch's fault. That's the construction of the roster, right? I seen what Williams did for Boston. They're very similar players. I think Williams is a little better free throw shooter right now, a little bit more mature than Mitch is.
A little grittier,
but they're very similar type of players. I think you can have that same impact for a winning organization. I've seen them block shots out in the perimeter. I've seen them block KD shot. When KD went up for a three, I seen Mitch block those shots same way Williams was doing, and they were praising him in the playoffs. I've seen Mitch do that plenty of times. Mitch can do that same exact impact that he have, catch those lobs, rim running, and all of those type of things. That's not a guy I'm letting walk for nothing, right? If it's a sign and trade, we get something back, okay, right? But if I'm just letting him go to another team and just saying I can get that from Sims, that's a horrible use of assets. And it's just what we always do with our own players. We never keep our guy ever. And I think for this organization just to take a turn or be looked at differently, bring back your guy. Bring back the guy you drafted, give him some money, build with him. Same thing for RJ. And one or two of these other young players, hopefully too. You know, you want to build that culture of this is our guys, this is our team. We're developing our guys, we're signing our guys. And we'll be looked at differently around the league if we start that type of mentality. And that's what we need to start doing, man. Like this whole let's let this person walk and all, and this need to stop. And it's embarrassing after a while. It is. Like since Charlie Ward, bro, come on, man. It has to stop. You can't do it.
I understand starting Mitch back and what your reasoning is. I'm just not a fan of signing Mitch back unless you get rid of them some other them contracts, some other those, B-list contracts, or you're gonna have to pay RJ.
Yeah.
You're going all out for Brunson, so that's two already. The third one is already Mitch. Everybody's saying we can't move Randall.
Right.
Unless you get, attaching assets, which I'm not trying to do anymore.
Right.
So you're not getting rid of Evan. So I'm just trying to cut corners a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like
I'm willing to cut corners with getting rid of Evan, letting him walk next year and try to find a trade for Randall than I am getting rid of my own guy who's 25 years old, 24, about to be 25 years old, and I'm only paying him $11, $12 million. I can find somebody else to cut and keep Mitch with RJ and with Grimes and Obi and IQ, and let those young boys build a culture on their own.
Right.
And those other guys, you know, if I got to find a trade for them down the line, I'm willing to do that. But I want to keep those guys together. I want to have a young core that grow together, be together for a while. You know, no more of this turning over crap. Like it's got to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there with you know, just continuity. You know, I respect that. You know, obviously RJ's played with Mitch 2-3 years, like you said. So I respect that. Well, then you're gonna have to be able to get off them other contracts, like I said, because I can't have
all these damn picks. That's what it's for.
I can't have 6 out of my 15 on the roster, or you know, that are B-listers or less, making extreme cash.
Nah, for you.
You know what I mean? RJ's gonna get. What do you think in the ballpark? At least 120. At the least, I would think.
I think he 140. I just seen Jalen Brown sign for 135. I would say RJ's around 125, 120.
So Randall's getting what, 29 a year?
Yeah.
Brunson's gonna be making 28 a year. Who's a superstar here?
You say that.
You see what I'm going?
It hurts my heart just to hear 28.
Exactly. It hurts.
To go on to the next topic here, what's your prediction? Like, we're doing this show, you know, on Monday night, with the 27th, right? You know, free agency is coming around on basically the 30th at 5-6 p.m. So, what's your prediction with the Knicks? What do you see them doing? Like 1 or 2 moves you see them doing, and once you predict that move, how you think the season turns out as far as win-loss total?
I think the Knicks are incompetent, but I don't think they're idiots. So I believe Jalen Brunson is going to sign on a dotted line. Like I said, I'm on board for not wanting him and hoping that he doesn't. But I think that will happen. They're aligning too many things. It's too much smoke. You know what I mean? It's not rumor. It's like Jalen Brunson. Like it's kind of already happened in a way without happening. So I do think it's Jalen Brunson that's going to be the new point guard. I do think they bring back Mitch at a fair deal, maybe 48 mil, 46 mil. I do think they make another move for like a starting wing. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they're able to flip Randall or maybe some of those expirings and some picks, maybe flip Evan. But I do think they're in the business of wanting to slide RJ back to the 2. I think I saw something today actually where it was some thoughts from a trainer that was with the regime before, but that was there when RJ got there.
Yeah.
He was saying that RJ felt good being a shooting guard in the NBA. So with that being said, I think we're going to find a wing that can kind of be that starting wing for us. And we'll see from there.
No. Yeah. I heard.
You hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting a call. My bad.
Yeah. No. That's cool. No. I kind of feel as though I don't think we're getting Bronson. I think obviously the Knicks will have supreme intel whether they would or not. You know, you got you know, you basically know what he's going to do. You got his father here. You got Leon Rose's son as an agent. You know, so I think they would pretty much know what he's going to do ahead of time, right? So I think he's going to give them enough respect to let them know. Listen, probably today or tomorrow. Hey, listen, I'm going back to Dallas, and I think you're going to start seeing the shift of whatever their next B plan is to start being talked about Wednesday, Thursday. So you're going to start seeing a shift from Brunson to, this is my opinion. I mean, Brunson could very well come, but just from being a Knicks fan as long as I have, I'm kind of expecting Tuesday night to Wednesday, you'll see a shift of Bronson's leaning towards Dallas type of talk. And then you're going to start seeing some rumors about the Knicks, whatever their plan B is, whether that's Malcolm Brogdon, whether that's Jones, whether that's Sexton, or whether that's D'Lo, whoever, Rozier, whatever their plan B is, you're going to start hearing Knicks are attached to this particular player, and they're going to go on that plan B relatively fast.
Do you think they pivot back to Brogdon?
I think they pivot back to Brogdon first. I think the Brogdon deal, in my opinion, I think the Brogdon deal was already agreed to. Meaning, like, hey, if we don't get Bronson, I think they got the outlier of the trade set up. So I would think that they would move swiftly. If Bronson said, I'm going back to Dallas, you'll see Knicks in serious talks with Pacers, right? Or if it's not, I think that'll be the move. But if it's not, it'll be in serious talks with Rozier or Terrence Jones is leaning. You will start seeing that rumor of their next guy, because I don't think they want the embarrassment of really seeming like it was all, even though we all know it's all Bronson that they're going after, but they don't want to have that embarrassment that, oh, it's all Bronson. They panicking and scrambling. This one thing I would give them about this regime is they have A through Z planned out, right? They went to the draft trying to get Ivy, probably looking at Johnny Davis, and they said Johnny Davis is here. They already had trades lined up, right? So they already had, like, if this guy ain't on the board, I'm trading it. So I think that's the same way for free agency. They're going after Bronson hard. If Bronson ain't there, they're going to have plan B. And they're going to go right to plan B. So you'll start seeing that Wednesday going.
And you think plan B is automatically Brogdon?
I think plan B is Brogdon. I really do. I think that deal was probably discussed on draft night, and they probably was asking for the 11th pick. They probably said, no, I'm not giving you 11th pick. We got a deal set up for this, and the third. We're going at all right, plan A. If that don't work out, then, here's the parameters of what we're willing to give. And I'm sure the Pacers is like, cool. So I think Brogdon is either a Knick or with the Wizards.
Okay.
If he's not with either one of them, I'm just saying if he goes to the Wizards, I think the Knicks will pivot to Jones. Or if they got a trade, they'll pivot to Rozier or D'Lo, or Sexton. But I'm not sure about Sexton. I don't think they really done it for him, but they'll have their plan B by that, that July 1st deadline or whatever, what players are signed. You will see who it is. I just don't think it's Brunson. I don't. I think Brunson's going to give them enough respect to let them know ahead of time, right, by tomorrow, and just say, look, man, I made my decision. Here what it is. I mean, he got his dad. We got his dad, the son of the agent. They're not going to wait to the last minute and just say, oh, he's going, They're going to give him enough respect to give him time, and then you'll see the Knicks do their plan B. That's my prediction. What do you think would win? So you said Bronson, mentioned another wing. Where do you think that gets him?
I'm going 44, 45.
Well, Bronson mentioned
another wing, a good wing, though. Not nothing too crazy. We talked about maybe a Norman Powell, maybe if they want to just pay a little bit of something, the assets that they got, an OG, maybe. But somebody like that nature where they can start next to RJ, put him back at the 2 at his natural position. I think 44, 45 wins. Either in the play-in or like right there. Still middle of the road.
I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brogdon and bring back Mitch, and I think they try to sign Melo. Right, I can see that happening. I'm gonna go with 37 wins. I think they matched what they did last year. I think Brogdon gets hurt
tough.
In 30 games.
Of course.
I think it's going to be a rough year because I think a lot of people are going to be screaming for Obi, And Randall's going to be getting that, the majority of the minutes still. And I think it's going to be one of them situations. It's going to be a rough year. They're going to try to make a move at the deadline, and they're not going to be able to pull nothing off again for the third straight year. And I think they're going to be going into year 4 with probably have to replace Tibbs. And I think Leon will be on his last year, that particular year, and they're going to have to make something happen for there. But I'm predicting 37 wins. It's a real early prediction. I mean, we could do this again after we actually see what moves they actually make and everything's done. We can come back and really talk about, okay, they did get Brunson, and here's what I think. But my prediction from free agency, I think it's a 37-win team. I think they get Malcolm Brogdon, Melo, and bring back Mitch. That's what I think.
I mean, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. That's a sad off season. You're on the books. You're on the books with Brogdon until 25. So
yeah,
you're gonna be on the books with an injury-riddled point guard and still win the same amount of games that you won last year. I think that's a pink ticket. That's a pink ticket.
I think Malcolm Brogdon is a Tibbs guy. I think they're going to be in a position where they can just say, hey, listen, we think he can stay healthy. And I think that they pretty much push to get that deal done. Because if you really think about it, if he is healthy, if he stays healthy, it's a big if, it's probably the best point guard that they can have other than Brunson that's available right now. Just pure point guard and what Tibbs want to do, I think he would be the best they can get. So they're going to look at the market and say, do I want to play Terrence Jones the $14 million, $13 million, or do I just want to just take the gamble on Brogdon? And I think they'll take the gamble. The thing is, with Brogdon, he can't stay in front of quicker point guards anymore. He's a good shooter, but not great. So he's streaky, and he's injury prone, and he doesn't really push the pace either, which is something I think this team desperately needs. So I think when all of it's said and done, it's another patch job. The point guard position, I think he ended up getting hurt, or I just think that it's going to be another 37-win, 38-win season. That's what I'm predicting.
Let me ask you this: Do you think teams just for laughing stock, you think they don't want to make trades with the Knicks? Like, I don't want to. It's just like, I'm just thinking about the history of the Knicks. And it's like, when have they been a part of a good trade? Like, you know what I mean? Carmelo, obviously. But we had to overpay. And he was going to be a free agent that summer. Like, you overpaid big time, my guy. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about, like, in history. Now, I'm only 29, so I only could think of, a certain period of time forward. But I'm just like, do teams just not want, like, so I was just thinking about Alan Hunt and what he said, and, as you were talking, and I'm just like, Quickly got game, Toppin got game. If these guys were on Brooklyn or on Philly or you know what I mean, they would be looked at way differently. You know what I mean? They would be like looked at as value, looked at as positives. But it's like when they play for the Knicks, it's just like all of a sudden those guys are not they're not worth anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a stinky aura that I don't like. It seems that we are part of.
I think it's a bit to do with a couple things. Because I thought about that too. I think the first thing is us fans, and I would consider myself a fan, even though we're doing this pod. I'm a fan, right? First, right. We make it so other organizations and other fans of organizations look at the Knicks, and our fans are a bit obnoxious to them. Like for an organization who don't win anything, we don't win much. We overhype our guys tremendously. We talk trash. We act like we're better than everybody else. You turn our nose down at other players. And I think that hurts that kind of hurts where we stand with other teams and stuff like that, because they kind of pissed off at the Knicks all the time. It's like, oh, they're a laughing stock, all right, where Fox, I remember Fox from Sacramento one time and was like, oh, they got the 8th pick, laugh out loud Knicks, right? But our odds of getting the first pick was slim.
Right.
So that makes sense, right? But it's always because our fans are the ones who make it so annoying for other people, fans, that it makes it a joke. You feel me? Like when we didn't get Zion, we had people falling on tables and screaming. And, oh God, you got Stephen A. praying, and both of them on the floor with Spike Lee. People see that and it's it's annoying to them. Like, why are these fans like that? They never win nothing. They're a joke. And it picked up steam when you got Stephen A. You got everybody bringing up the Knicks.
Yeah, they definitely add fuel.
So it adds fuel, right? So when a trade come, it's like, why would we help this organization's been trash? Why? And I'm gonna take your scraps. You know what I mean? Like it's the perception of us is bad, and it starts with, I hate to say it starts with the fans. Like, we'll sign somebody who's trash and try to make them good and justify it, and then do something crazy like we win a game against Boston. We out there in the streets jumping around. Oh, Knicks! Oh, come on! Like, you know what I mean? You look dumb.
Bong.
Yeah, bing bong. The red, don't you wish you were here? Like, dumb shit. And then we just look stupid. At the end of the day, that people see this and be like, "This fucking dumb organization, dumb fans." Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying the fans are dumb. We're very knowledgeable fan base. We're passionate fan base. But if I was a fan of somebody else, and let's just say Kings fans, if Kings fans acting like this, we'd be looking at them like, bro, you haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are you jumping around over a win in the regular season? Like,
right.
What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's how we're looked at around the league. And that's how we looked at because of people like Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee and all of that. Our arena sold out when we trash. That's another problem, right? It's the problem because it doesn't put pressure on ownership or the front office to be aggressive and to make us winners because we're there regardless, right? So you got other franchises that's coming into our building, the garden is packed, and we got 20 wins, and they like, I'm gonna help these guys. And I'm struggling to get attendance where I'm at, and I'm winning,
games, yeah.
And it's just all of that combined it just makes it hard for anybody to really run this organization correctly. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't envy Leon, because if he was aggressive and he went and got stars, you got half the fan base like, I want to build organically. If he wouldn't build organically, you got half the fan base like, where's my star? Right? So he's looking at it, let's do both. That ain't it either. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to do. I'm trying to do both. No, that don't work either, bro. So he ain't in no win situation unless you win, right? So he got a free year when he won that first year. Free year. Everybody was on board. We win it, right? When you lose and you see what happens here, right? It became ugly. Randall cracked. He was getting boos, and it was started to get ugly. So now they're on the picture like, I don't want to do nothing hasty or crazy, but we need to win. So now they're whoring over Brunson. And they just try to find a way to just get in the playoffs just to keep everything level until they can make the move that they quote unquote want to make. And whatever that is. And I just think at the end of the day, that's why we're who we are. It's a bit because the Garden's always sold out. That's the problem. And for a person who don't buy tickets, I can easily say I don't go to games, but I do buy League Pass and watch all the time, what I mean, and see every single game and observe what's going on. But by them being the third or fourth highest franchise in sports, in the Garden, and for them making money off of jerseys and hats and all of that type of stuff, and that keep happening. Why would they want to build a franchise? Why would they work hard to try to win a championship right now? And I think this regime, They just want to be in the playoffs. They're all right with that. They're all right with being the first round exit. I don't think they championship hunting. I don't think that's even on the agenda. They just want to be relevant and be in the playoffs. And all of our regimes prior to that seems like that's the goal. Let's just try to get the playoffs some kind of way. Let's just push the playoffs. But nobody's trying to take their time and build a championship level team. Until that happen, bro, we're gonna be having these same conversations for years to come. So we get somebody in here to just build right. I know it's a long take. Sorry, but that's what it is.
I mean, you're right, though. Honestly, I mean, of the regimes that we've had, I feel like they've tried to do it a little bit. You know, they've at least mentioned player development. Lord knows we never developed players ever in our history of history. You know, so, you know, with that aspect, that's a little encouraging, but, you know, actions speak louder, you know. So I guess we'll see come Thursday, Friday, the start of free agency. It starts with Jalen Brunson. If you did all of this, like you said, horning around, putting yourself on Front Street, that you're going hard for this guy, and you do not get this guy, a family member, like you stated.
Family member.
You're never getting anybody ever. Ever.
Quite honestly, a smart regime. If they don't get Bronson, right, they're gonna go after Bronson. I get it, but if you don't get Bronson, a smart regime would then realize, listen, we're not looked at as a destination that players want to go to, right? We need to re-examine what we're doing here, and I would pivot to let's start IQ at the point guard. Let's start Grimes at the 2. Let's save the money we got here, you know. Bring Mitch back because he's a young player to go with, you know. Sign Mitch back.
Flip Randall somewhere.
Right. Let's try to find trade for Randall. Let's just do this organically because we're not a destination people want to go to.
If you can't get Jalen Brunson, that's embarrassing. 1 and 2, like you said, nobody's coming here. That's it. No Bills, no Levines, no Donovans.
You're not getting anybody.
You're not getting nobody.
So just pivot to, you know what? We tried to get, you know, some talent in here. It's not a, you know, you don't have to say it to the fans, but you can say it internally and say, you know what, man, let's just build this with the players we got and see what we got here. If we lose, we got 2 picks next year that's going to convey with the Dallas in our pick, right? If we lose, we get both of those picks. We'll continue to build, hopefully get lucky in the lottery. If not, pick the players that we got. Use these assets to try to get some young players in trades, whatever the case may be. You got to pivot to that. Pivot into Jones or pivot into one of these stopgap point guards. You just doubling down on average. Like if you can't get Brunson, just forget it, bro. Go young, start over. Just realize who you are. Like sometimes you got to just look in the mirror. Look, I'm not a destination. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Only thing I know I can get is draft picks because that comes to me regardless. So I'm going to use those to get better because nobody wants me. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Just realize no one wants you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop trying to talk to girls or you ain't getting none. Like, this, nobody wants you, bro. Like, it's cool. They don't want you. Okay? So, just stop. Just don't be the guy. Don't be the one out in the corner. Keep talking to girls. They keep saying, no, you look stupid. Just stop. Just go in the house, you know, chill out, get yourself together, build yourself up, get yourself some new clothes, and come back out later, and then maybe somebody want to talk to you. That's pretty much
exactly.
I'll look at the Knicks. This you can't get this person. This is the equivalent of having like a family member, right? Who got a girlfriend who's single. She seen your picture. She like you, right? And she come and meet you and be like, man, nah, I'm going to go back to my ex who cheated on me. I'm good. That's what this is. This is what Bronson is.
Dallas had 2 times to offer him 55
Yeah, 2
million.
times to offer. They cheated twice, right? So it's like, I'm gonna go back to the cheater, and I'm good with y'all. You don't really do it for me now that I met you. Once that happened to you, you need to just chill for a minute and get yourself together before you go back out there and try again. That's the Knicks. That's where they are.
That's a great analogy because that's the truth. That's exactly where we at. You know what I mean? We got a fresh cut. We did all this horn around.
Our fresh cut. I do sneakers. Went out there. Brought her a drink, and she was like, "Now I'm gonna go back to my cheating acts. I'm good." And once that happened, there's no coming back. It's really
coming back. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna go back home to go to the gym. You know what I mean?
Go to the gym, up the wardrobe.
You know what I mean? Everything. You know what I mean? Come back better. That's what they need to do if they don't get Brunson, bro. Just come back better. Just stop. It's over.
That's gonna be tough if we don't. I'm just saying it now. That's gonna be real tough if we don't.
Blood bath. Can you imagine what you're gonna read? And Stephen A. You're gonna have Jalen Rose. It's not gonna be good, bro. It's not gonna be good. And that's why if I was them, I just would just stand in it, just go in a dark room, then click off the lights, and just wait till the preseason and just say, "Hey, we want to go young anyway. We wasn't chasing Brunson. You crazy?
We wasn't trading. I don't know where those rumors came from.
It was our guy.
We thought Rick was a great coach. We thought Rick was a great coach.
Come on now, you know what I mean? And just give it to him. Just shut up. Just don't even put out tweets and then just stop. Just go in the hole until September. Seriously, that's what I would do. I'd just be like, I always talk about. I traded Kimball because he didn't want to be on the team, and we didn't want to mess up the young chemistry that we got, and that's
right.
And then we were free agency. Like we never had intended it. We believe in IQ. That's how you got to flip.
That's what I would go. I would just pivot around. Yeah,
IQ's the guy. We love him. You know what I mean? And that's it. But if you go sign Terrence Jones, no, you fired, bro. You fired. I can't.
No disrespect to Tyrus. Tyrus is a good player.
No, he's a backup. Okay? He's the worst point guard in the East. No, I mean he's a great player. He's in the NBA. But let's be real. He's the worst starting point guard in the East. Yes, by far. It's not even close. Can't think of nobody worse. Just being honest. Yeah, still pretty much worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't think he's better than Cole Anthony?
No, he ain't better than Cole Anthony. Fuck no. He's better than. I don't know what Washington point guard is. Okay, he might be better than Washington's point guard. We got to see what Washington does.
Raul Neto, I think.
Better than Neto and those guys. Okay, so he's next to last in the East as a starter.
Pretty bad.
Nothing against him as an off the bench 6 guy. He's really good at that. As a starting point guard, next to last. I think Cole Anthony's better. Of course, Cleveland's better. Fred VanVleet with Toronto's better. Harden's playing point guard for the Sixers pretty much.
Maxey's better too, if you want to just say.
Yeah. Irvin's better. I think even Lowry's a better starting point guard. He's old and fat. So, yeah. Put him last. It's not.
No, you're right. He's not good. He's not good.
Gonna be good. Smart's better than him. I mean, I'm really trying to go down the line, and yeah, I don't see him being better than any starting. Of course, LaMelo's better. Drew Holiday. Yeah, it's pretty much
Cade.
Yeah, it's pretty much near the bottom.
Halliburton.
Yeah.
Suggs. Whoever you want. If you want to just say Suggs, whatever.
He's the next to last worst point guard in the East. Maybe in the ABA as a starter. Like, I didn't even think about the West teams. He damn near last. When that's your free agent signing, it just, just turning the keys. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. You got to get fired. Yeah. You got to get fired.
90 keys. You're pretty much horrible if you just started. So that being said, man, with the Knicks, you said 30, 41 wins. I said 38.
I said between 44 and 45.
I say 38. You say Bronson and another wing and Mitch. I say Melo, a trade for Brogdon and bring back Mitch. That's our predictions as far as the Knicks go. So before we go, touch on some music real quick, just to give it a little different twist other than just the Knicks. Two albums came out recently. We got Chris Brown, we got Gavion. What's your thoughts on them, and who you think had the actual better album and why?
I thought Breezy's album was better. He had the record with WizKid I really liked. I had heard the Psychic record with Post Malone. That was, came out before the album. I really liked that record. The Wayne feature, whew, man.
Wayne went
crazy.
Went crazy on there. Young Wayne
went crazy. Breezy. It's just Breezy. I actually listened to the Giveon album last night. I'm a big Giveon fan. I thought with this, a lot of the records sounded the same. I liked that Breezy had 24 songs. That seems to be the new trend in the music game right now, or over the past few years. Just giving a lot of records. Giveon had the kind of like phone voicemail skit in the beginning. I kind of feel like that's played out. We've been hearing a lot of artists over the last few years recently kind of do that. Like I said, a lot of the songs sounded the same. He did have a few records that I thought, were standouts, but I don't. And another thing I don't like about Giveon, but he doesn't take any risk. You know what I mean? Like his beats are the same. He kind of always has the same voice. Baby, why? That's his thing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like, take a step. You know what I mean? I know you didn't bring up the Drake album, but I mean, for what it's worth, Drake took a step. You may not like that step. That's not what the statement is. The statement is he took a step.
He went outside of his element.
Exactly.
Element, but he kind of took the chance of saying, I'm gonna, do this house music beats, and I'm gonna do the whole album the same. That's not normally what Drake does. So I applaud him. I do applaud him for that. And there's some songs on there, like on second or third listen for Drake, that and I was like, all right, my whole thing is I'm comparing Drake against Drake, right?
Can't do that.
And I'm comparing Drake against other people who make that type of music. And I don't think it's as good as his last stuff, and I don't think it's as good as what they do. I just thought it was cool to me. And if you're gonna step outside of your element, it gotta be hot. Like it gotta be crazy. So it's like, damn, he did this and he killed it. Like he went there and went in this lane and destroyed it. Like I'll give you an example. Like I don't know if you heard it, but Beyonce's song, right? She kind of did that same tempo, that same.
I did hear it. I did check it out.
She did that same tempo, that same beat, but her song is better. Like it's just better than what he did, and it's more of an anthem type of song. It's something that the women are, her whole fan base can connect to or whatever.
Definitely.
And I kind of feel like that's what I needed from Drake. I didn't get that. As far as Chris Brown album, it's like two different albums to me. Like he had 1 through 11 all features. Kind of up tempo rappers, different. Herb was on it, different stuff. And the second half was love Chris Brown, like love songs and all that. And like he's one of the few artists, and I know I heard other people talking about this before, but I agree. He's one of the few artists that can do 20 songs, and you just like, and not really nothing I need to skip by. Like you might skip by once you find your favorites, but it's nothing in there like trash. Like he's one of those you could actually listen to his album the whole way through and then pick your cuts. You know what I mean? Very few artists can get through 20. You might get some to get to 10 or 12, but 20 is rough. And Chris Brown is like one of the few talents that can do that. And that's why I appreciate him so much. I think this guy is like, he's so consistent. He don't get his credit. He don't get his flowers like he should, because he's just, you kind of like, all right, Breezy, you dropping that joint gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like you already know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. You know what I mean? You know the women gonna go crazy. You just listening for your tracks. You know what it is. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes when you step back and you like, man, this guy's great. This guy's actually great. Like one of the greats. And I realized that this last album, I started thinking about his resume, and I'm sitting there like, this dude can box with anybody, like ever. You know what I mean? Like he can box with anybody ever. He got that type of resume from being a kid to now. Features. Imagine doing 20 against Chris Brown, bro. Like that's hard.
I mean, you gotta go all time, like all time. I'm not even talking about no Ushers. I'm talking because Chris Brown's wiping the floor. Like wiping the floor with Usher. It's not close. That's not close.
Whoa,
that's not
bro.
Close.
I was with you. Wiping the floor.
That's not close.
You tripping. They ain't wiping the
That's
floor.
not close. That's not close.
Nah, he's not
close. He wiping the floor.
I think Chris is getting 12-8. Wiping really 11-9. Wiping the floor, no sir. That's never
wiping the floor with him.
No sir, no.
He got a counter for every record.
So, dude, you know how long Usher been around, dude?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, how many
Usher's
songs?
been around. Usher's been around. What? Huh?
Long damn time. I don't even know, bro. 30 years.
But I'm just saying, like, but Chris Brown got smashes.
Go to Usher, bro. You kidding me? Usher got smashes. Like, come on, man.
I think he went like 13-7.
You throwing a Let It Burns and This Is My Confessions and all them joints, bro. Like, come on. Those are, for anybody to beat, those are hard to beat. And he can sing. It ain't like I watched this latest versus, where
we got guys voices cracking. We
got guys just sing out there. You know what I'm saying? And you got Mario killed Marion because he can sing. Both these guys can sing, Chris Brown and Usher. Usher gonna get out there singing his Johns and can sing. He ain't getting wiped by no one. No, he's not getting the floor mopped by no one.
Okay, would you agree that he's losing?
I think it's even. I think it's a celebration. I think it'll turn into a celebration. I don't even think it'll be a score. I think it'll be like, damn, this joint crazy. You just sit back and enjoy it. I don't think it'll be like Chris got him or Usher got him. It's a celebration. I don't think either. I think they got so many that they play 20 songs against 20 songs. You just gonna be like, damn. Like, you just gonna go back and forth with it. You're not gonna really be able to say, oh, Chris got him on that one. Because Usher got the same type of level hits that Chris got. Chris got more. Now, if it was a 50-song battle, I think Chris would take it. 20, I look at that as even.
I think it would just depend on the 20 Chris picked.
I think that Usher got undeniables though. He got joints that's you can't. When you do This Is My Confession for the women, like, what are you gonna play that's going to be a clear point over Confessions or Let It Burn or those type of songs? Like, what are you gonna play that's going to just be, oh, he got him? Like,
I mean, you got Deuces, you got all of his younger stuff. Run It. You got 3 in the Morning.
Make love in his club. Usher got all of the same Johns, though. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I go back. You can go back and forth with this. Like, he ain't crushing him. It ain't gonna be if Chris Brown play a joint. You like, wow. Usher gonna come right back. You gonna be like, damn, I forgot he had that joint. That's how I was gonna go. You gonna be like, oh yeah, damn, that's right. Chris Brown gonna hit him with something. You gonna be like, damn, I forgot it. Okay, that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be blow for blow. those guys even. The only R&B person that can't be touched. I hate to
Don't
say
say
this.
his name.
You know who it is. You know, the guy that we can't
Don't say his name.
name. I ain't gonna say it on you know, that's frowned upon, but you know who I'm talking about. Nobody touches, okay? You know who that guy is. I can't his name, but he's from Chi-Town. You know
that's
who
all
that
I'm saying. He from Chi-Town. He from Chi-Town.
No, I'm gonna say. But as far as Giveon, I think he got his heart broke. I think I think the man somebody cheated on him. He got a lot of vibe, like, damn, he hurt. Like, you know what I mean? His songs came across. I got depressed a little bit, like, damn, like I started feeling what, you know, I got cheated on and that hurt. That's start feeling, I start tearing a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? I had to turn it off. Like, it's not for me. Not saying there's not some good songs on there. It is. I just thought it was like one of those type of albums, like very safe. Maybe
very
he was
safe.
going emotionally, that he had to get off his chest type of thing. But it wasn't groundbreaking like I would expect from him and his type of talent. I needed more. I needed him to step out of it, like you said, out of his comfort zone a little bit, just a little bit. And like you said, the songs kind of sound the same. Like I was sitting there listening, vibing out, and it was just like, which one is this one again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this
I found myself like, oh, this song is different, but it sure did sound the same. Like,
yeah, that's what I liked about Chris Brown is like he went different beats, different avenues, different like love songs to fast songs to in between to something that's kind of hard. Like one of the beats came on, I
like the record with her too. I like that.
Yeah,
song.
like I had to spit on it, and then he changed it up. You know what I mean? Like I like that type of stuff that Chris Brown did. Like he's the type of guy to stay in the studio. You can tell he in the studio.
Yeah, he's a worker.
He's a worker. Like, and he just keep making music till he find the ones he like, and that's you can tell that about Chris Brown, and that's what make him great. You know what I mean? Plus, he's a hell of an entertainer too. You know what I mean? Like, if you ever been to one of his shows before, he's crazy.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy entertainer too. On top of that, so yeah, that's what I say. He wanted the greats for sure. I mean, I think he can take Usher. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't think nobody mopping Usher. Personally, I don't think you're gonna mop a great, but I think you can beat a great. You know what I mean? I think he can, any given day, anybody can be beat.
Oh, of course.
Like even Hove can be beat in the 20.
No, he can't.
Hove can be beat. Like
he can't.
It depends on what. Like one thing I noticed with verses, it's all about not just your songs. It's how you perform your songs, when you play your songs, how your charisma on stage, if you into it or not. You know what I mean?
But who going against Hove if it's not Wayne or Ye?
Wayne. I think Wayne is the only one that could take him in 20. I think Drake got the hits, but Drake don't got the stage presence or charisma to take him. Drake not that great of a performer to me. When I seen him, I don't think he would be able to take hold. But Wayne can. I think Wayne would be the closest one that actually can beat her. I ain't saying he's gonna watch him, but I think he can. I think he can beat Hove if Hove not on his game. Hove gotta be on his game to beat Wayne.
Like Hove too sharp for that.
Yeah, nah, but Hove lazy now too. Like, you know, when I notice this, people get up there, they too cocky sometimes. You get watched in verses, bro. Like you get up there thinking that Jones gonna hit, and then the crowd be like, it's cool, but kind of like Wayne's better. You know what I'm saying? And then you scrambling out there. You know what I mean? Like Hove, I've been a 4 or 5 Hove concert. He's a hell of a performer, but he got to do that. Like he got to be like on a I'm a killing mode to beat anybody. I think Wayne can take it.
Yeah, I've probably been around probably the same 5, 6 Hove concerts. Hell of a performer, definitely. I've seen Wayne a couple times. Wayne is a great performer too, though.
That's what I'm trying
tough.
to tell you.
That's tough.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say is that's tough.
Wayne got a way of rapping the same way you do on songs live, right? So if you get into that Wayne flow, you know what it is. And Hove is up there trying to be chill with it. he fucking around and lose. He fucking around and lose. Another nigga that's a performer is like Buster. You get Buster out there, man. You better bring your A game, bro. Because Bust live. You don't want none of that smoke unless you got to be like on your game. Okay, Buster will kill you and live. It'll be ridiculous. Like you know what I mean. So that's another dude. That's why he haven't done a versus yet. Nobody want none of that smoke. You think about it. Everybody else kind of did it. This on Buster level. I put Buster as like I don't want to say B list. I don't want to disrespect him, but like not considered top 10, but somewhere in the 15, 20 range. Pretty much all those guys kind of went, except for 50, T.I., and Buster. Right? Nobody really want that Buster smoke, bro, because Buster want to do it, and it's just nobody.
I saw T.I. said he want Wayne.
He want to what? He want to do what with that? They gonna get smashed. You crazy? Come on, no, don't do that. T.I., please. Don't, no.
Hey, you know T.I. just want to make the headline.
Yeah, just go against 50. Like, that's fair. That's across the board fair battle. Like, both got smashes. Both was relevant. He was 50 king in New York at the time. He was king in the South. You feel me? They got equal songs. Both got the same type of personality. Hell of a battle. You go against Wayne, you get smacked. You getting washed, my nigga. Like, you're done. You're getting destroyed. Like, don't do that. Like, you would want to fight or something. Don't do it, bro. No. Wayne could go against Drake, Hove, Kanye. And maybe M. Maybe M. I just thought Nas. Let's just say Nas. Maybe Nas. Those four that's alive.
You think Nas got 20?
Don't be disrespectful. Nas got 50. Okay,
I'm not talking about I'm talking about 24 verses.
Yes, easy 20, easy 20. I'm talking about easy. Like Nas will kill 95% of anybody you put up there, bro. 95% of those guys, including T.I., 50, everybody but Wayne, Hove, and Ye. He would demolish. I think you'll even kill M. Like on a versus side of things. You don't want none of that Nas smoke. I know you ain't Nas fan. I'm just saying you don't want none of that. You don't want it.
Not the biggest Nas fan. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You gotta.
Nas fan.
I kind of want Nas. To do one, so like people that's a little younger that can get that respect that he deserves. Because I think a lot of y'all kind of Hove been around that era, but Hove also was more relevant. And as he went on, and with Beyonce, those the blah blah blah. So everybody kind of know Hove. Older, 35 to 30 to 40-year-olds know Nas. Probably like 35 to 45 know Nas from what Nas is. You know what I'm saying? And their respect level is higher for us than it is different generation. But bottom line is that guy Nas. You don't want nothing to do with that guy, especially in that setting. No.
Yeah, that is his setting. That's a setting for him. Yeah.
Like your respect level would be just on a different level if he battled anybody. But nobody would ever even. Hove won't even accept going against Nas. He don't want He don't want to lose twice. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't going against Nas.
Hove care about that brand too much.
Nobody else got the boss. Nobody want none of that smoke, bro. Like so. Nas, to me, you don't want him in that. Not in that. Not when he back in the Queens mode. It's over, dude. Getting smashed. Like
yeah, because I mean, versus is like a hyped up battle. You know what I mean? Like professional battle, if you will.
Who you gonna play when he brings out Lauryn Hill and I Rule the Roar? If I Rule the Roar, what are you gonna come back with that? Having Lauryn out there singing that on stage, and you know how everybody feel about Lauryn, and they doing I Rule the Roar. What are you doing with that? Doing anybody? What are you coming back with? That's going to be like you got to. I want to know. Like I was thinking about that. Like what are you coming back with? Like, this is gonna be like, yeah, you got that one. Any artist. I'm talking about in the versus setting.
I mean, Hove got some. But
what? What Hov coming back with from Al Ruda? I'm talking about Lauryn Hill haven't been on stage in 10, 15 years. You got Lauryn Hill come out that door and saying, if I rule the world, the crowd already going stupid. Nas do his verses. That's over with. What you doing? You bring out Kanye, it ain't gonna hit the same, bro. It ain't gonna hit the same. You bring out Beyonce, we done seen them thousands of songs. It's not meaningful. What you doing? Bring out Maya? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's a loss for anybody.
I mean, what if he bring out Foxy?
That don't mean shit. nobody care about Foxy. You talking about Lauryn Hill? No. You lost that round, bro. Anybody. Wayne, what you gonna bring out? Drake, Nicki, Big Time.
I mean, you better make. I mean, that's only one song though. You better make that one count.
I'm just giving you an examples of how this can get ugly fast. You know what I'm saying? When you're going against that guy, he got so many songs, been around so long. It's gonna be hard, bro. It's gonna be hard. Like, you in for a long day. You in for like one of them, like, you know, we shooting remix, and you can bring out Jada and all them. It's a lot. Bring out Luda. You know what I mean? He got a lot of stuff, bro, that you ain't thinking about. Like, well, you just gonna be like, damn. He got the joint Body in the Trunk with Nori. He got shit with Rick Ross too. You know, I know Hov do, but he do too. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nas got a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of stuff.
I'm just not the biggest Nas fan, you know that.
I know that. But I'm just saying, like,
but I do respect him. I do respect him.
Was in the verses, it's gonna be a bloodbath for somebody. Somebody's getting murdered out there. It might be a tear or two. I'm telling you, he's gonna kill you. So like those type of greats, man, I just give it up for. I don't know how we got on this subject, but you know, it is it is what it is. But I'm just saying,
we music heads, you know how that go.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. But how you think this Beyonce album gonna be?
Mid.
Yeah, like
Beehive. Like, I'm saying mid.
You like the song that came out?
It's all right. She's talking about quitting your 9 to 5 and all that. You're not even relatable anymore, baby. You're not relatable no more. Stop talking like that. Like, I don't know. I thought it was mid. Song her version of the house music or whatever that is did sound good on the ears. I'm not gonna lie, but it's mid. You know it. Like,
it's mid for her or it's mid period?
It's mid for her. It's mid for her. Like, it's Beyonce. And it's like, honestly, I'm being 100. I had told you this offline too. I'm not checking for Beyonce, man. Like, I want, if Rihanna drop, yeah. Like,
well, Rihanna been away for so many years. I feel you on that one.
You know what I mean? It's like we the biggest Hov fans, right? But like, if Hov drop an album, are we gonna be like, oh my God? Or it's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm about to check this out. You know what I mean? Hov, what, 52? Like, yeah. You know? Like, you know,
I put like, if Hov drop an album like how Nas' last two was,
but what like, you just said, you just said Hov lazy. You just said Hov lazy.
He's very lazy now. But I'm saying if he decided one day to just be like in his bag and was like, I'm gonna do an album and I'm just gonna spit, I'm gonna go crazy, I'm gonna get beats, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I get beats from Hit Boy, I'm gonna get beats for all the producers that he messed with, and just went in there and just laid down that type of energy and focus. I heard his song before it came out. Let's say how Beyonce just dropped that joint and that joint crazy. When his album come out, I'm gonna be excited for it, like I would be. Like, damn, I want, you know, I ain't heard this type of Hov in years. Like, let me see what he's doing. So yeah, I would be like that. If he dropped a surprise album, Sort of like how Drake did, and it just came out. Yeah, I probably let me listen to it, see what it is, and if it's crazy, and I'll go crazy with it. But it depends on how he go about releasing it and the marketing behind it and all that type of stuff. Like I was looking forward to 444. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, you know what I mean? When he put out like the little signs that the album was coming out, he didn't really put out a song, but it was like you knew Hov was coming. And when that joint dropped, I was up at 12 Eastern time, going through listening. First couple joints, it took me a while. Like he did the Kill Jay-Z and he did the OJ joint. I'm like, all right. Well, Smile came on. That's the joint.
That took us to the next level.
Yeah, I heard it. I said, I had to go back and listen to it again. I said, damn, this Hov. Like, you know what I mean? I went back and listened to that again at 12 something. I was like, yeah.
I mean, everybody know how I feel about Smile. That's just whoo.
Yeah, he's in his bag now. Like this.
You want to talk about elite penmanship, my guy, man.
Yeah, he went in on that. So once I heard that joint, I'm like, yeah, he's not playing with this. And I heard like even now, if you go back and listen to that album, that joint is like one of his better albums. Like slept on.
I probably heard it about 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. I listened to it.
Yeah, it's one of the slept on albums. Like, I wouldn't say slept on. A lot of the whole fans give it respect, but it's like it grew well. It's like it's still relevant to today. Some of the stuff he's saying is still like,
oh yeah.
I know that even though it's like 3 years old, 4 years? I'm not sure how old it is. 3 years old now.
I think it was 18.
Yeah, so like 4 years. Yeah.
18, I think.
It still sound like, yeah, what he's talking about is still relevant. I don't know if we're gonna get another album like that. I think that's pretty much his how he's gonna go out. I don't think he's gonna get another Hov album, but
I think see that.
That's a good way of going out to me. Like I thought that kind of put a battery in Nas back, quiet as kept. I think he kind of heard that, was like, this guy at this stage and this can do this. Yeah, I'm going in. And he came and dropped 2 gems after that. You know what I mean? I think that kind of got Nas going a little bit. I think he needed that. I think Hov helped him with like get him that energy to want to come back and be that guy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I even checked out the Nas albums and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. You respect it. Like, yeah, this guy's different. He's 50 doing this. Like,
right. And that's probably was
ridiculous.
The most impressive thing. But I was just like, okay, you know what I mean? He got some records on here that I'm actually like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's Nas, so it's gonna have to take a little extra. You know what I mean? But I still came away impressed on both albums. So
since we're talking about music, what do you think of the Kendrick project? Now that you got the chance to sit on it.
I really like the album. I do.
What do you rate this album compared to his other ones?
If we was on a 10 scale, probably 8.5. I like the message. I like he's kind of trying to tell people to hold yourself accountable. You know what I mean? For whatever's going on in your life. I like the Savior record. I thought that's a huge record. I like the skits, with Kodak Black and the record Silent Hill with Kodak Black. I like the Die Hard record. I thought that would be like a summer breeze joint, summer bop.
Die Hard that's my joint right there. That's
yeah. I like the song. I don't know why I'm blanking right now. N92. I like that. The beat is hard on that, especially the end of that song. The way that beat ends out and rides that song out. Thought that was great. I think he gave us an album of frustration, just of what's going on with the world, us, like where Kendrick at, like, yo, there's a lot more that's going on than what I'm doing on a mic. It's kind of like his thing. I feel like the Worldwide Steppers record was a huge record, kind of what he was saying, and different words that people could say or not say, and I thought it was groundbreaking. I thought we was in a different time where it's not a pandemic and not like people really was outside. I think we will feel that album a lot more. Definitely, we talked about before. Timing is everything. I think if we would have dropped it in the fall, we'd be looking at like, okay, this album hot. But you dropped it in what, May?
I'm gonna say this, and my take a little bit different. It's not a summer. It's not a summer album. It's a October, November album. Meaning, like, what he was talking about is not what you want to hear while you're driving. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
outside, or whatever the case, you vibing or cleaning. It's not that type of album. And I think it was put out at a time where people want to get outside. They want to turn up right now. They want to go and do things. We've been stuck in the house, and this is an in a house album. Like, you know what I mean? It's like one of George you need to think about and listen to. Like, damn, that's deep. You don't want to do that when you're driving. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was not the right time for when he released it. That's the first point. Second point is, I'm gonna say it. I didn't think he had the bars I wanted from Kendrick. Meaning,
Okay.
like, it wasn't a competitive spirit on the album that I wanted. I wanted like how you see J. Cole doing on everything he's on now. He's just going and just looking to murder everything. Like, you put him on a guest appearance, he's going to try to destroy you, right? And he's out for blood, you know what I mean? And it was like Kendrick was more in a different vibe than that. And I get the vibe. I respect the vibe. It's a good album for sure. No disrespect to what he did and his work. But we at a time now when there's no competitiveness in music.
Right. That's true.
It's like everybody's buddy, hugging. It's friends and like, this is my guy. You know what I mean? And it's at a point where it's like, where's the competitive spirit at? Where's he like, I'm the best, period. Like, stop talking. Like, he didn't want to prove that. And the old Kendrick was, when made a song calling out names, saying like, where y'all at? Like, I'm that guy. Like, where you at?
But I think the key word that you said, the old Kendrick, and that's what fans always do. Yeah. You always resort back to, I want the old Drake. I want the old Kendrick. Like, that's because that was a good time in your life, or Take Care when that came out. I was 19. You know what I mean? Like, that was a fun time in my life. Like, but it's like these guys grow. Things don't become as important. You know what I mean? The competitive spirit is important to Cole, but it's not important to Kendrick.
I'm saying you don't got to make a whole album about it, but you could let somebody know on one of the tracks. Feel me? Like, you could make a.
I think a couple tracks he kind of got on that.
I didn't get that from him. I thought everything had a message, and the message was by his life.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
Two things can be true. You can still present a message.
I'm gonna give you an example. Yep, I can give you a line from Cole said on his Dreamville joint. It was like, I shoot him in the mouth, at least he died tastefully. That's like, ew. Like, this nigga's going, he's not playing with you guys. Give me one from Kendrick. A line. One.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
Give me one thing that was like, ooh, Kendrick not playing on this. Like, well, just one. I'm just asking for one.
When he was like, then he caught COVID and he prayed to Pfizer, and then I started to question Kyrie. That whole lot, that was tough. You can't I can't remember exactly verbatim.
It was tough, but yeah, the same, man. It was it's all right.
On Worldwide Steppers when he's talking about, you know, getting with the white girl and it's okay because she's paying her transgressions. You know what I mean? Hey, that's hard. You know what I mean? Like
hard. That's cool.
It's a different hard though. It's a different hard though. It's not a punch in the face. It's a sneak around and grab you by the neck. You know what I mean? Like
hard, but I would say Kendrick. I would say Cole. Right, I'm listening to him on the Butcher joint.
Oof,
bro,
that's tough.
Like I didn't hear that from Kendrick. I didn't hear that. Yeah. Like he went in there and just that nigga was rapping like I'm the best. And like stop playing with me. Like I'm the best. Okay, Benny killed this verse, but when Cole came on, it was disgusting. Okay, it was disgusting.
I'm gonna listen to that right after this. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It was disgusting, and I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that from Kendrick on this. Where I'm just like, he's undoubtedly the best right now. I didn't say that on his album. I said that he's very creative. You know what I mean? He's still one of the best ever to do this by far. Yeah, I put him in top 6, 7, or 5, wherever you want to put him, whatever. He up there, no question. Talent is amazing, but when it comes to this rapping ability, like this spitting, Cole got him right now, today. Cole got him.
I mean, I can live with that. Definitely, Cole has way more body of work recently, also. So, a different body of work.
True. I can't knock none of that. I just want people to respect Cole, J. Cole. I think a lot of people kind of, including me, used to be real boring to me. Like, always nice, but very boring. Now it's just like you get on tracks, you're just like, oh, this is getting ugly. It's getting bad. Like,
yeah, he's definitely getting better. He's definitely getting better.
I give him his respect for that. But to wrap up the podcast, man, just your last thoughts on these last couple of days before free agency. Your last thoughts you want to give before we wrap this up. You know, we've been over here a little over 2 hours. Just however you want to.
We've been getting it in. Yeah. This is what we said. We had a lot to talk about. But just like I said, I think it's a Brunson, some type of wing. Doesn't have to be great. Somebody that can at least be a starter for you. I think they package some expiring picks and some first, maybe 2 first or so to try to get a wing, put RJ back at the 2. Like I said, I heard he enjoyed being a shooting guard in the league. 44, 45 wins.
I'll tell you.
Other news besides the Knicks, I think Bill goes back. I think Levine. Something tells me Levine is a Portland Trailblazer. I just think you got to think he's from that area. I think he's from Seattle. So he's from that, Pacific Northwest area. He lives in Portland, during the off season. I think, him and Dame could do something together. I think Levine leaves Chicago, goes to Portland. I think Miles Bridges ends up either a Piston or a Pacer. I think Charlotte loses him. I don't think Murray's traded. Murray from the Spurs. I don't think he's traded. Some reason I think that's smoke. I just don't. I don't see you giving up on DeJounte Murray. I don't see it. But hey, what say you though? What you feel?
Think Murray do get traded. I think he end up with the Hawks. I think that smoke has actually got some. I think it's a little legitimate. I'm not sure the package that they're talking about with Gallo and 3. I think they end up getting a little bit more than that when it's all said and done. Probably a 3-team trade. Collins going somewhere. A little extra going to the Spurs. I think the Spurs really trying to tank for that center. I heard that Parker's his coach. So
Parker owned the team that
on
he
the team.
played for.
Yeah, so he got
Tell me that ain't a lob.
Yeah, he got intel, so he probably like, listen, guys, do what you got to do. So I think that's going to happen. I think Malcolm Brogdon is going to go to the Wizards, if not the Knicks. He's going to one or the other. I think that's going to probably get done pretty soon. You're going to start seeing that happening. As far as Brunson go, of course, it's the Knicks or Dallas. I think he's end up going back to Dallas. I think the Knicks pivot to Jones or Malcolm, one or the other, to be the point guard. Like we talked about before, I think 37, 38 wins again. I think Tibbs is going to be on the hot seat. I think Leon's going to be in the hot seat. As far as Bradley Beal, he's going to, of course, go back to I think he's going back to the Wizards. I think that was reported. He's going to take a max deal, head back to the Wizards. Levine, I think he's going back to the Bulls. I don't think he's going to turn down that money. I don't think he's going to Portland. I think he's going back to the Bulls when it's all said and done. Overall, I think Ayton probably end up with the Pistons, but not with the amount of money that we thinking. I think 20-something range. I think Ayton ended up going back to the Pistons. If I had to guess where he's going to end up, I think it'll be a move that's unexpected from somebody, like a player that's not being mentioned right now that we didn't think was available. That's going to end up changing one of these teams that's not really a contender right now, and is going to make them kind of push them forward. I think you're going to see a surprise move from like somebody in the East, like the Heat and one of those type of teams that's going to do something that's unexpected.
Yeah, they're always a player.
Yeah, it's going to be something that's going to happen unexpected. The Heat, Sixers, one of them type of teams is going to do something that's going to kind of change the look of the East a little bit. Bridges, I think he ended up with the Pacers. I think when it's all said and done, I think he's going to end up with the Pacers.
That's
I don't think Charlotte's going. I think he's going to go with the Pacers. I could definitely see that happening. Other than that, I think it's going to be a relatively safe off season for teams. I don't think it's going to be nothing major. It's going to happen, especially with Kyrie opting in. I think that was going to be the most exciting thing. I think it's going to be one surprise move, though. I think it's going to be somebody in the East. Somebody's going to pull off a trade that's going to change things a little bit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it won't be us, the Knicks.
Is it ever?
It should be somebody else. And I think that's pretty much the off season. What we're going to see. I'm more excited, honestly, for Summer League. I want to take a look at these.
Yeah, I think I'm going to head out to that. I think I'm going to go see that.
Yeah. I want to head out. I want to see these kids play. I want to see I really want to see Ivy. Obviously, we tried to trade up and we didn't get it done. I just want to see him like in an NBA type of setting and see if he's the player that we all thought he was. Very interested to see how that turned out, especially being next to Cade and Detroit. I really want to see that dynamic more than anything else when it comes to that. But other than that, man, it's been a pleasure. This has been
it's been amazing
podcast. Mike, Dice. Look forward to seeing y'all again, man.
This is the Trippin'-N-The Mecca podcast. This is our free agency pod, mixed in with some music, mixed in with some general NBA stuff. But it's been a pleasure, like I said, and I'll see you post free agency.
Yeah, we're gonna come back post free agency, see how right we was, talk about the moves, and I start heading into that summer league conversation and seeing what that's looking like. But all right, man.
Yep. All right, man.
Okay.
I'm your host, Dice. What, you just started it right now? You got it, man. All right. Welcome, my good people. Wait, stop. All right. It threw me off, though, because I was talking, and then it said recording started, and then I was like, wait. All right. Welcome. We can edit this whole first section. Go ahead, don't worry about it.